Today we're at the Phnom Penh Restaurant. It's a Michelin Gourmand awarded restaurant. So let's go in and check it out. So this is one of the specialties. This is the deep fried chicken wing with the lemon sauce on the side. This is one of my favorites here. Lots of garlic here. Yeah, look at the garlic here. Look at the garlic. Oh, look at this chicken wing. Look at this chicken wing. Boy, lots of flavor in that chicken wing. I haven't had it for a while. They're really tasty, but lots of flavor. It's got the salt flavor, and you have the lemon sauce. You need the lemon sauce with this chicken wing. So you miss the chicken wings here?
Yeah, these are great.
Oh yeah.
I gotta admit though, not quite as good as the frog legs, but they're history now.
Yeah, I hope they get the frog legs back soon. Oh, it looks beautiful. Thank you. When's the last time I had this with Todd? Dragon boat.
We were still dragon boating.
Yeah. Specialty beef dish. It's raw beef with cilantro, I think it is, and it looks like, what is that on top? Garlic, deep fried garlic. So this is the butter beef. So it's raw beef with it's got the soy sauce flavor with the lemon. It's one of their signature dishes here, so you gotta try it.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a right combination of flavors. You know, they perfected it. So it's just one of those things you can't improve on perfection, right? This is one of the specialties. I haven't had this since I paddled a dragon boat. Our team used to come down here and have this. That's one of my favorites here. This is the lemongrass chicken with the shredded pork and some pig skin. I don't know where the pig skin is. It's supposed to be on the rice. And you get a little salad with this. So this is pretty good value here. This is a nice dish to eat. See, the problem all along is at the start of the pandemic, they increased the money supply. So the government basically give people money, so increase the money supply, but no increase in productivity. So basically, what happened is the buying power of money becomes less. So now, I would have said, I actually did say, but I didn't do a vlog or anything. I was going to say they should have started increasing the interest rates a year before they actually did it, like last year. Should have done it a year before. And I would have done it at that time, but since they didn't do it when they first started raising the interest rates, I would have put it at 1% every time. So make sure that people know, okay, this is serious. So they actually delayed it, and then they started raising it. So today was actually the 6th time they did it. So like 0.5%. So then what's going to happen is a lot of people will have mortgages. If they actually make some money already, they're just going to take out a credit line, right? And then they don't care if they're going to deficit. So when the interest rates start going down again, then they're going to just sell the house, and then it's going to reinflate again, right?
Why would interest rates go down?
Huh?
On the mortgages, you think interest rates are going down?
Well, the thing is, they're waiting for it. People are just waiting for it. So even they run a deficit on the payments every month, they'll take a credit line, and then even they run a deficit, they wait for the point where the interest rates on the mortgages start coming down, right? So the thing is, that's why the government right now, they've done 6 increases already, and they're going to keep on going, right? They can't let a situation where all of a sudden they stop and they start, quantitative easing again. Because when they put it down again, when the interest rates come down again, people are, all of a sudden there's cheaper credit, and all of a sudden the rates of the houses will fly up again. So it's going to be another situation where it actually gets worse. So it's better to get it done now, even if you go into a recession. Even if you go into a recession, some people will be hurt, unfortunately. But if you just stop now, and a lot of people say, why don't you just stop it, slow it down. But unless
slow down the interest rate hikes.
Yeah, they want to even start bringing it down at some point. But stop now and let's see what happens. But if you're going to let us see what happens, basically people just say, well, I don't care if I run a deficit on the mortgage. When it starts coming down, there'll be cheap credit again, and then they're going to flip the house for a higher price. But if they start keep it going up, some people are just going to sell, or some people are going to they can't hang on. I heard this one situation where a person had 3 mortgages, and all of a sudden the interest rates start going up, and the value of the houses started going down. So basically, the mortgage is underwater. Even if they pay off the house, they still owe money. So it's that kind of situation. And I heard in 2008, there's somebody on the west side. They had 10 houses on the west side. They couldn't get a mortgage. And then at that time, Harper all of a sudden started giving out free credit, cheaper credit. So the interest rates start coming down. The Bank of Canada, the government they bought bonds. So then the banks got a chance to give out mortgages again at a cheaper rate. So then from 2008 until now, basically the price of houses have been kept going up. So in the old days, when you have a recession, it's not a bad word, you slow down. But because they didn't have any recession for a long time, unfortunately, it's not going to be a short-term recession. The way I look at it, it could be a one recession and then it kind of steady up for a while. It'll go into another recession, right? And if it goes 8 quarters, it's a full-blown depression, right? So the thing is, right now, it's hard to call. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a recession. And so when I do my videos, I'm actually doing inflation-fighting recipes, inflation-fighting food, so how to save money, cooking at home. So I've been talking about like that for the last few years. Even though I should have done a video on inflation. I know it's coming, but now that it's coming, everybody's, oh, it's going to be inflation. But I already knew this a couple of years ago. And as soon as the pandemic started, I knew there's too much money in the system, and then you gotta be ready for it. So even though I didn't do an explicit vlog, I know that this is already happening. Right? Hey, somebody crossing the street. There's a lot of jaywalkers down here. So there's mostly grocery stores that are open. In terms of business, there's not too many kinds of business. So it's been raining a fair amount the last 3 days. So now nighttime, and it's still pretty quiet around here. It hasn't been that noisy. So now we're, oops. So just checking out the Downtown Eastside. It's Wednesday, October 26th. So it's been raining quite a bit for the last 3 days. We've had almost summer-like weather for about 3 months. Only rained about once in the last 3 months, but now it's getting colder. Lots of rain, and I think there seems to be a fewer amount of tents. Right now it seems to be fewer tents here. And the streets have been fairly clean. I just look at the streets, they're fairly clean, and not much noise. Generally not that much noise down here, from what I've seen so far. So here it's a little bit more dirty. Lots of garbage on the ground. So the ambulances and the police are down here a lot. So pretty quiet. That's another grocery store. So I think there was a court order so that people can't be removed. So I think that's part of the situation here. The tents can't be removed, and people don't have housing. So the government, unless they find housing, people can't be moved. So the tents stay. So now it's just rainy, cold weather. there's a cop that hit a guy standing in the middle of the street, like nailed him, right? And then he got out of hospital, and it's okay. Well, it wasn't as serious as it was when we saw the video.
I almost hit a guy. So when they had the one of the bus strikes, the red line strike, the meth heads started coming over to West Van, and because the blue bus line coming from West Van was the only bus line operating. So all of a sudden, you're in West Van and you got all these kind of grungy-looking people, and then you see them at the end of the day. They all have these black shopping bags garbage bags on their backs. So it took a little while to figure it all out, but it got to the point where one of them would like get on the bus in West Van, to come back here at the end of the day of stealing in West Van, breaking and entering and that. But the bus drivers got wherever someone got on with one of those garbage bags, they would call to the police and say, I got one on the bus, and they would meet them at Park Royal, and they'd have to get off at Park Royal, and then the police would go through their stuff and see what they had stolen. But one night it was like this, wet, rainy, dark, and I'm driving, and I almost hit someone one of these guys, he's on a bicycle, he's dressed all in black, and he's got a big garbage bag on his left shoulder, so he's blocking himself completely, so I don't see anything until I just about hit him. And like that guy just now in the wheelchair, no kind of light, nothing reflecting light at all.
I take my foot off the gas
at the middle of the road.
I just take my foot off the gas and just have my foot almost on the brake. I try and buy nice clothes. I used to, but I always waited till there was a big sale. Like I'd buy clothes when we lived in West Van, I'd buy clothes at the men's room. But I knew every 4 times a year they'd have a sale. So I would wait. So it looks like, wow, there's a little bit neater, but a lot of tents here. Nighttime. So somebody said there's party central down here, but I don't, it's not really noisy. It's pretty quiet down here.
Well, maybe because of the rain.
I think in general, I've been down here at nighttime 2 times. So, there's fires heating up. It's getting cold. No, but back then it's pretty expensive, like $100, over 120 for shirts and that kind of pants, polo stuff. So then I decided I don't like the long sleeve. I used to wear the shirt, the sleeves tucked out. The bottom's tucked out. So I decided to cut it, right? So I had Taylor cut it all the way across. I can't even wear the shirt now, right? So short. So I just sit in the
You should
closet.
have brought it, might fit me. It might fit me.
It's kind of weird when you cut it. All of a sudden, it's kind of baggy, and then it doesn't go down.
But then out of proportion.
I've seen people now wearing it that kind of style. It's in style now, right? You wear the shirt, it's kind of like short and it's kind of puffy. So they actually become a style, right? But at that time, it's like, I just got to go buy a shirt every time I have a good paycheck, right? So like the other guy's buying a plant every time he has a good week. But I said, I'll just go buy some good clothes. Not even good clothes, right? Like every polo shirts have no pockets. It's not functional, right? I like to have a pocket. And you spend that kind of money, over $100, $120 for a shirt, it doesn't have a pocket, right? It's a waste of money when you think about it. But now, during the pandemic, I try to shop in areas where small business. So I have oddball size. Like I wear a 38 now waist, but 34 length. So nobody has it. But that one place where I shop, small mom and pop store, they have my pants. It's for $10, right? And I go to Hudson Bay. I go to different places. I can't find my size. I'm willing to pay more, but they don't even have my size, right? So then I go to this place. I help them out, and I get these pants that fit really well, $10, and I buy some T-shirts and stuff. I help this company, and then recently they tried to survive the pandemic, but recently they closed. Right? They just try to stay open till the pandemic's over, but recently they closed, or they're closed by now. They're probably closed by now. So they can't keep up with business. Right? It's not really, so they finally closed. So a lot of people think like the pandemic. There's nothing bad happened. People still working, unemployment rate's high. But a lot of the like certain blocks, restaurants where people close down and new owners come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then still full employment. Maybe they got the restaurant for cheap or for nothing. Just take over the lease. So I remember like one block, there's like 4 restaurants. They all have new owners, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I don't know if they're gonna actually make it. But people say, well, the pandemic, everybody's recovered. It's not actually recovery. A lot of companies, they don't fire their workers until they know, because it's hard to hire workers right now. So they keep the workers, and even if they lose money, they want to keep them, hoping that during the pandemic, at some point, the economy revives, gets better. But now the economy isn't getting better, and these people are starting to lay off people, right? Especially in the tech industry. A lot of companies starting to lay off. There's a lot of companies in Vancouver right now. They just don't have the business, so they lay off people. In social media tech, good business, and even Zoom. It was really popular during the pandemic. I attended some meetings.
Sure.
And at first I didn't really know how to use it, so I'd be chomping on some food, and everybody's listening to me chomping on my food.
I know.
And then nobody says anything. And then, after a while, I didn't like meetings on Zoom because, sometimes some people are anonymous. You don't know who they are, and they're just talking, and you want to say stuff, and then sometimes you say stuff. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, right? This kind of thing. So I didn't really like. And Zoom, the company, before the pandemic, somebody said they were going to invest in Zoom. It's a good company, and I didn't know what it was. Then later on, during the pandemic, the Zoom, the price went up, shares.
Yeah, of course.
And then now it crashed back down.
Oh, it has?
Yeah, it's crashed back down, and I think that Kathy Wood, I don't know if you've heard of Kathy Wood.
No.
She's some kind of investment fund, and then she is buying more Zoom. I think she is buying Zoom because it's going to revive. But I find it's very hard to have meetings like that, unless they have to. I don't think it's going to be that popular. And that's in my own opinion, of course. And then Shopify, the price of Shopify went up a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then
I read that.
Since then it crashed.
I've never really followed it, but
well, the thing is, a lot of people, I want to start a side gig, a side business. So they, they subscribe to Shopify. So I know people, they become Shopify customers. So, doing internet business. But not everybody that does internet business succeed, right? So then it was going up for a while, the Shopify shares. And then at some point, it's like, at some point, the shares started crashing, right? Because basically everybody wanted to try a Shopify business, but a lot of them don't succeed. So they cancel, and they don't have they could use it as a side job, a side gig, but then if they don't have a full-time job, they're not going to keep their account.